Hello.
Hello สวัสดีค่ะ
Hello. How are you today?
I'm fine
Questions.
Marvel
Today.
Marvel
I don't know.
and Wonder Marvel
Marvel.
Marvel
Marvel.
Marvel
Marvel.
Marvel
Marvel.
This is same wonder or surprise
Yeah.
but I don't know before
From the movies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Marvel. It's some type of imagination, but
Imagine
I don't know what it would be easier to describe it as. Marvel. Marvel. No, not.
Wondering Wonder
Not wondering. Come on, let's go. Be filled with wonder or astonishment. A wonderful or astonishing person. The marvels of technology. What did you think it was?
Fantastic Wonder They said wonder or surprise ประหลาด strange
Not surprise. But what was the other one that you wanted? The first one.
Marvel
Right. The first one.
They said like wondering
No, oh, you mean the
Surprise.
difference between wondering and marvel?
Marvel means wondering or surprise the real meaning
Not surprise. Not wondering. It says that it is astonishment.
astonishment
Astonishment.
means
I guess they're saying surprise, but it's not surprise. When you marvel at
Wonderful.
something, when you marvel about something, they don't have a very good explanation here either. Be filled with wonder or astonishment.
maybe because they try to put two words together together
But I don't know how to say it in an easy way. When someone marvels at something, they are surprised at how great it is. So yeah, it is surprise, but it's not surprise like you're imagining. When you see something and it's marvelous, you are like this. You're like, wow.
wonderful เหรอ
Yeah, it's a type of wonderful, but wonderful doesn't surprise you. When somebody is wonderful, if you say, wow, he's wonderful, you're not like this. You're not like, wow. You're just, okay, he's wonderful. That means he's good. But when something is when something's marvelous, you can't move. You see it and that's why they say surprise. But it's not surprise. It's shock, and it stops you when you see it. So when you see something that's marvelous, you can't move because you're like this. You're like, whoa.
shock เหรอ
Yeah, but it's not shock. It's these things together. It's shock and surprise and inspiration and wonder and amazement. It's all of those things together. And so that's why it doesn't translate as one word. when you when you see something that's marvelous, you should see the people when they're looking at it, not the word. So a word like this, when you see it in a movie, you'll see someone who says, "Wow, that's marvelous." You'll see them like this. That's how you want to imagine the word. The translation is worthless. It's the person's face when they see something that's marvelous. So that's why they call it Marvel, because they're saying comics, because they're saying that the kids, when they look at the comic book and they open it up, they're like this. Right? It's not surprise. Surprise is like this. Surprise is scary. It's a type of surprise, but it's a good surprise. Surprise is going to make you afraid. Marvelous is great. It's an amazing surprise. It's not a surprise like shock, like if someone hits you and you go like, it's not that kind of surprise. It's surprise because of how great it is. So it's seeing something like, if you see, the Buddha or something, you see God and you like this. That's marvelous. You're not shocked. You're not like, ugh, right? It's not, you don't see the Buddha and you're like, ah. You're like, whoa. It's not surprise like seeing a snake. It's surprise like seeing a lot of money on the ground.
Money on the ground.
Yeah, if you're walking and you see a huge pile of money.
Oh, Marvel.
Okay, then that's and you imagine what you would look like. Okay, that's marvelous. That's what you're gonna see. Anyway, that was difficult. No more of these difficult questions. Okay, next.
No.
Okay, let's hear about Sibti's exciting day. Sibti missed a few days. We were supposed to have a show yesterday. We were going to watch another movie, but we needed to watch another movie because I don't have time today. But Sibti ran away.
Fever. No, I
Oh no, coronavirus. Where's my mask?
No, because
Okay.
I didn't go outside.
Okay.
I didn't go outside.
Well, but it takes a while to come to you.
Takes a while for virus.
Right.
No.
Exactly. Oh no, okay. So me and Sibti will be dead on the next show.
Oh, no.
You'll see us dead on the show.
Okay. Today I woke up at 6
6 o'clock.
a.m.
Oh no. Okay.
because yesterday I didn't
We
come.
can't do the show so early. Okay.
I sleep a lot and woke up.
I
Slept a lot
Right.
and woke up early. And after that, I watched our video
Uh-oh.
and worked designs
Worked.
on design, in design,
Yeah.
my design.
Worked.
Worked. What?
Uh-oh.
Worked on job, on design,
On.
on my,
What's the
Picture.
design?
on our video. Picture.
Not
Picture.
right.
Picture.
I worked on the movie pictures.
I worked on the movie.
Not D. Not the.
The
Right.
movie picture.
Not picture.
Picture.
Many.
Pictures. Pictures.
Pictures.
Pictures.
Not pick.
Picture.
Pictures.
Pictures.
Not chur. Pictures.
Picture.
Picture.
Pictures.
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 You're saying pick, but it's
Pick. Pictures.
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 Not peek. Pick.
Pick.
Pictures.
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 Pic-
Not Pikachu. Pictures.
Picture. Pictures.
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 But not so slow. Pictures.
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 Not p. Pictures.
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 That's better. Pictures.
Pictures.
You're saying pick, but it's not pick. It's pick.
Pick.
Pictures.
Pick. Pictures.
That's better.
Shoes.
Pictures.
Pictures.
Not p. Pick.
Pick. Pick.
Pictures.
Pictures.
That's okay. Anyway, after that.
Until
For how long?
4 or 5 hours.
5 hours?
Until 12.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
12, and after that
12.
12.
Right.
And after that I fixed no, I don't know, fix verb to fix in the part, what you say? Fixed.
Fixed. Right.
The ready cat ready logos. Cat ready's logo.
Okay, what does it look like? Are you going to show it to us?
Yeah, I turn on only.
Maybe we shouldn't, because probably people will... Anyway, what does it look like? Cat on there?
And
Ant. Oh, right, the
Yeah.
ants. That's a horrible logo.
font and
You should tell her, you should say, cat lady, ants are not a good idea for your...
I tried to make another one for her.
Okay. She didn't want it. She
Yes.
wants the ants. Yeah, sometimes people are stubborn. They don't want to
Yeah.
listen.
It's hard to design for other people.
Yes.
Up to depend.
No.
Up to them.
Right. Yeah, that's the same problem that programmers have. I did programming when I was younger. And I remember I had a boss, and he said, we need to build this. And I said, well, that's not how programs work. That's not how the computer works. And he said, well, Amazon can do it. And I said, well, that's true, but...
In the end, you did or not? You do?
No, that's why I'm here, because I couldn't deal with it anymore.
That's why I didn't do or make page for business design.
Right. What about your non-prick though?
No.
Come on.
Just
No, you can't
pause.
give up. If you
Pause.
give up, then you teach yourself how to fail, right? You have to make sure you don't give up, because it teaches you that giving up is okay. You have to build a track record, a path of success. When you say you're going to do something and you do it. And if you do that a lot, then your body and your mind start to listen to you. And then when you say, I'm going to do it, they say, okay, right? But if you fail, if you teach yourself to fail, then when you say, I'm going to do it, your mind says, maybe not. You don't want your mind to have that doubt. You teach it to listen to you by not giving up. Starting with simple tasks, like, okay, I'm going to pick up this pen, and you do it. Okay, you can do that one, that's easy. Then you go to another one. Okay, I'm going to stay up for one day, and you do it. And if you do that for a long time, then your mind and your body,
Then
they
we
start to listen.
then
Then they start to listen. and you say, I'm going to do it. And they say, okay, let's go.
It's hard to find someone
Money. No.
help me.
You don't need help. You just need confidence. You start with the simple tasks and you teach yourself to listen. And then you go to the hard ones. You can't start out with a hard one though. Most people, they start out with a difficult one. They're like, okay, I'm going to make $1 million. No, that's not, you can't start with that one. You have to build a record. You have to build a story of success. Starting with the simple ones. Like, I'm going to eat, today I'm going to eat an apple. Okay, you can do that. Then today I'm going to finish one logo. Okay, and you keep doing that until you are strong enough to choose a harder task. That's the path to success. Okay, and then?
I will try to do. And after
maybe
that,
tomorrow. Okay, after that.
After I sent logo to the cat lady, I took a shower and got dressed, and then I went to eat, and after that I went back to my room. I changed my my shirt.
Not shirt. Shirt. Not
shirt.
Yes.
And then I came here.
Okay. Right, to draw on the picture. Let's see. What is the picture on the other side there while I was talking?
When we talk about movie.
Oh, okay. What is it? What is it?
I don't know.
Marvel.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Anyway, okay, that was my exciting day. Language learners like licking luscious lemons.
Language learners like licking luscious lemons.
Not ruscious, luscious.
Luscious.
Lemons. Randy rarely reads Red Rowdy Oasis requests.
Randy rarely reads Red Rowdy Racist requests.
I want to go home.
I want to go home.
He wants to go home.
He wants to go home.
I want to go home.
I want to go home.
He wants to go home.
He wants to go home.
I want to go home.
I want to go home.
She wants to go home.
She wants to go home.
I want to go home.
I want to go home.
They want to go home.
They want to go home.
I want to go home.
I want to go home.
He wants to go home.
He wants to go home.
I want to go home.
I want to go home.
It wants to go home.
It wants to go home.
I want to go home.
I want to go home.
He wants to go home.
He wants to go home.
I want to go home.
I want to go home.
She wants to go home.
She wants to go home.
Good, okay. Let's continue with Sipti's favorite.
For remember how to push it?
Yes.
No.
So it's memorization. It's not words. If you go to class, they tell you, I want, he wants. And you say, okay, great. And then you go home and you can't remember. It has to be a memory, right? You learn those memories. It's like so many people now, they think that you can learn something from a book. Even in Japan. I used to talk with this guy and I said, well, I told you already, how are Japanese people going to learn samurai spirit?
Samurai spirit.
Right. How are you going to learn how to fight without having a real sword? Because in Japan, they're not allowed to have swords. And he said, well, from a book.
In the past.
No, right now. You can't learn how to use a sword from a book.
But then no.
But that's what they think. That's what people think now. It has to be something you say. It has to be something that you do. so many times that it changes the way that you think. The path has to be built correctly. It's not something that you imagine. Okay. Describe something interesting that you once found. You should say what you found, how you found it, what you did with it, and of course, explain why it's interesting.
Something interesting, or
Yes.
everything.
I don't know everything. I don't know what you mean.
Before we talked about
Right.
plagues, about popular plagues.
Give it a try. I'll tell you what I think.
Alaska, like the
Describe something interesting that you once found.
all my life, if I will be rich someday, I want to go to Alaska and see blue sky. What do you call blue sky?
Keep going.
And blue sky because it's wonderful and just a few places there are blue sky. If I go, I will sleep on the ground and look at sky all night until sunlight until the morning. I want to keep experience because it's not easy to do. I don't know what you call blue sky.
I think you mean the aurora borealis.
We
The
talked
lights.
before. We talked before.
The lights in the sky.
Yes, yes.
I don't. It's not blue though. It's yellow and green and red. You have the
In the
aurora
nighttime.
borealis. You can just say the lights, the northern lights.
The northern light.
But that's not the question. So the question is, describe something interesting that you once found. I don't know what you're describing, but probably if you did that question, they would give you a 3 because you didn't understand the question. Your question is probably describe an interesting place that you want to visit. I think that was probably you're confusing it with describe an interesting historic place. But this one is describe something interesting that you once found.
About my cat, though, before we talked.
Yes, but
Should change.
it's a thing. A cat is kind of a thing, but they're expecting you to say something that's just an object. But a cat is okay, but they're expecting a thing, not an animal. But the cat's not horrible. Remember, what they want you to say is like this. They want you to say, 3 years ago, I was walking home and I saw a small rock on the side of the road. And it was interesting because there were no other rocks there. It was in the desert. And in the desert, it's just sand. But I saw this rock on the side of the road and I picked it up. And I really liked the texture of it. It was smooth and soft, probably worn away by the sands of time. And I walked with it for a while as I was going home. And I thought I would throw it in the river or throw it at something, but I decided to keep it eventually. Now I keep it on my desk. I think it's a lucky rock because it was different than all of the other things on the road that day. And so I keep it on my desk. I think it's a lucky rock, and I think it brings me good luck in difficult times. So that's something interesting that I once found. That's what they want you to say.
Okay.
Now, is that true? No. I just got that outside to play our game with the wallet. But like I said, if it's a real story, that's easier because you have details. If you don't have a story, then you don't panic, right? Other people say, I never found anything. No. Okay, then you remember a movie that you saw or a story that you heard, and you tell that. If you can't think of any story and nobody ever found anything, then you lie. They don't care. At the end, you don't have to say, sorry, I lied. They don't care. They'll say, good, whatever. Nobody cares if you lie. They're only interested in the speaking skill. But we want to tell the truth because the details are better. Okay. Now, mine wasn't very good, but Sipti is going to show us now how to do it correctly.
How to do it correctly?
Right.
I don't know.
Uh-oh. We better hire somebody to fix these problems. Okay. Describe something interesting that you once found. You should say what you found, how you found it, what you did with it, and of course, explain why it's interesting.
Okay. 1 year ago, I went to another city in Thailand named Nan. There is it's small city, but good natural. I went there because I want to climb in the mountain, climb to the mountain. When I got there, it looked very beautiful place because there is one big river between big two mountain rock mountain. So bad I can't take a picture because the water is heavy. I should take off everything on the big rock. And one thing I found is many things is beautiful small rock. There are great color, and when you put like when you writing on big rock, you can write everything there. But in Thai, I want to get it back, but in Thailand we believe if you found good thing, very beautiful or great in the forest, you shouldn't get it back because ghost will follow you into the home. Yes.
Better, but
I don't know what you call.
I don't understand the rock where you write things.
The mountain, but all mountain is rock, not tree.
Okay,
และหน้า
but
ผา
no, don't draw it. But you said that you write something on the rock. I don't understand writing.
because small rock with many color you can write like when you drawing just pay
On another rock.
yes
You use a small rock to write on a big rock.
yes
To draw something? Or to throw it at these construction?
no just write everything you want because
It's smooth.
the big rock
Yeah. It's called a rock
Strong.
face.
strong but small rock are smooth you can write like
Not smooth, but soft.
soft then
Softer.
softer
Okay. It the grammar's not very good, but it took too long to get to the story. So you only have 2 minutes. If you tell them too much about how you got to the place, it's not going to be good. You'll run out of time. And then they'll say you didn't answer the question. Remember, they don't have a box that says, "Wow, amazing answer. It was so long because she's so great." No, they just say, "Idiot." That's it. They just have a box that says wrong, retard. That's it. They don't have a box that says amazing story because it was so long. They don't have that. So it has to be quicker to get to the story. So you just, in the beginning, just jump ahead to the
forest
to the thing we find. So you say like this, you say, one time I was hiking in Nan.
hiking
Yeah, one time I was hiking in Nan, and my friends and I went to a waterfall there. And at the bottom of the waterfall, there were some beautiful rocks.
bottom
That's the longest that you should take before you get to their answer. You don't want to say, one time I was in the forest and I was kind of like thinking about my day, and I was like, maybe I should have like a donut. No, it's too slow. Get as quickly as we can to the question that they're asking. It's okay to take a little bit of time if you need to. But in a question like this, you need to just get to their answer as quickly as possible. So you should say, a couple years ago, I was hiking in Nan, and my friends and I we got to a waterfall. And there were some really pretty rocks at the bottom of the waterfall. And you can pick them up and use them to write something on this rock face that is near the waterfall. People leave messages or draw little pictures for their friends or for other people who go there. So I got one of the most beautiful rocks from the bottom of the waterfall. It was difficult because the water was so cold, but I managed to get it out. No one else could do it. And I used it to draw a nice little picture on the rock face. It was a sun because the rock was a bright orange color and it looked great. It was much brighter than the other colors on the wall. In Thai, we believe that you can't take something from where you find it because you'll get bad luck. So I had to leave it there for someone else to draw a picture later. Probably it's still there at the bottom of the waterfall if you want to go look for it today. Okay. Again, describe something interesting that you once found.
1 year ago, one year ago, I went to Nan. It's small city. It's small. It's a small city in Thailand. I went to hiking.
I was hiking.
I was hiking with my friends. When I got there is
We don't know where there is.
when I got the forest.
We don't know the forest.
when I got waterfall.
We
We walked to waterfall. A เหรอ A waterfall. There are many.
not are.
There were many rocks color
Rocks color?
rocks
Colored. Colored.
colored rocks.
But we need to show people it's important. So brightly colored rocks.
Brightly
Brightly. Brightly colored rocks.
colored rocks.
Where?
We found brightly colored rocks. Colored rocks
Where?
in the river.
Not can.
We could pick them up and write and drawing
And draw.
and draw everything
Not everything.
and draw
Pictures
pictures on big rock
on
a big rock.
there.
Huh?
There.
On a big rock there. I wanted to get them back, but
Not get them back.
Get
that
it-
means someone stole them from you.
get it back.
No. That
Take
means,
it back.
No.
Pick. Bring. I wanted to bring it back, but
Bring it back where?
bring it back to my home. But I can't. I couldn't
Right.
I couldn't because in Thailand we believe if you bring everything in the forest,
Not everything.
if you bring something in the forest back
Back
you
where?
back to your home, you will found bad luck.
Not found.
You will
It's like you're like, oh no! you can't find bad luck.
You will get
Yes.
bad luck, and some god will follow you.
Some go.
Ghost.
Ghost. Bah.
Ghost.
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 Not some.
And the ghost.
Not the. We don't know who it is.
Ghost.
A.
And a ghost will follow you
Home.
to home.
Not to.
Will follow you home.
Right.
So long.
So, we need a good ending.
So, I live it there. I left there.
I left.
I left it there, and I thought it better for another group will come.
I don't understand that part.
I just left it there because
I'm scared of ghosts.
natural should be stay together.
Natural, no.
Everything there should stay together.
It looked better.
It looked better
In the river.
in the river.
Or it belonged there.
Or what?
It belonged there.
It belonged there.
Belonged.
Belonged.
Belong.
belonged
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 there
there
that's better a little bit slow but better so like this you say about 3 years ago I was hiking with my friends in Nan and we came to a small river in that river there are some bright stones at the bottom and if you're brave enough to pick them out of the cold water you can use them to write on a wall and leave messages for other people who come there I got a nice bright orange one from the bottom of the river and I left a nice message for other people you can still see it there if you go there today and I wrote a nice message for my friends and then I threw it back into the river because it belonged there and because we believe in Thai that if you take something from the forest that ghosts will haunt your home so I'm scared of ghosts and it looked much more beautiful in the river so I left it there and it's still there today if you want to go find it okay again describe something interesting that you once found
1 year ago I went to hiking
not to
I went hiking to the forest
in the forest
at Nan
not at
in Nan
in
the forest in Nan
Nan is more important than the forest so Nan will come first
I went to Nan I went to Nan with my friends to hiking
not to hiking
for
no
I went in Nan with my friends
not in Nan
at
no
I went to Nan with my friends we wanted to go hiking we wanted to go hiking when we walked in the forest until we found
when we walked in the forest no if you say when we walked in the forest then you have to say something happened you can't say when we walked to when we walked in the forest we saw a ghost when we walked in the forest we saw a rat when we walked in the forest we died something has to happen if you say when you can't say when we walked in the forest to the waterfall no
we walked in the forest until we found the waterfall
not the
a waterfall
right
and we tried to picked we tried to pick brightly colored rocks on the river
not on the river
in the river
not in the river from the river
from the river because it looked because they were good color
they were pretty
they were pretty pretty so we tried to draw picture on
not picture
pictures on the wall a wall we wrote names
our names
huh
our names
we wrote our names. After that, I wanted to bring it back to my home, but I couldn't because in Thailand we believe if you bring something in the forest back, you will found back home. You will found good. You will get bad luck, and a ghost will follow you to home.
That's
why I lived there because I lived there.
Left what?
I left it there because it belonged. It belonged there.
In the river.
In the river.
Not the.
The river.
Yeah.
I hope other people will come here. We'll go there because there is because it's beautiful place. It's beautiful place. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. It's a little bit too long. It's a little bit better, but it's not fast enough to be exciting. So at that speed, people get tired, right? The speed that you talk will change someone's emotions. If you speak really, really quickly, they get nervous. And if you speak too slow, people get angry. So it has to be like if someone has a stutter, right? Like it makes people nervous and angry. And if you speak too quickly, then people get scared. And so it has to be at the right speed. And it has to have some up and down in it. So in English, we like to go up and then down, and then up and then down. In Thai, you can't do that because if you go up, then it changes the word. But in English, people will talk like this, up and down, and it keeps you in a good mood. You know, in other languages, it's not the same. I used to listen to Russian TV shows, and everyone, they just say, gush, 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 gush. And after an hour of listening to that, you know, you feel really sad. You feel like, oh, I gotta just jump off of a cliff. So in English, people, they talk up and down like this, like,
in Thailand,
what are you doing?
Same thing.
It's not quite the same, because in Thai, if you go up and down, it changes the word. I'm saying that when you hear people reading in English, there's a pattern that they speak. They go up and down at the important parts, and they focus on things that are important, and they stress words that are important. And so if you just speak too slowly, like you did, like, one time my friend's forest rocks. It's too slow. So like this, you're gonna say, you know, about 3 years ago, my friends and I were hiking in the forest in Nan, and we found a river where people try to pick up brightly colored stones from the river bottom and use them to write on a rock face that's near the river. They leave messages and little pictures for their friends who come later. I got a very brightly colored one from the river. It was hard because it was so cold. The water was really cold at that time of year, and it made my hands and my feet blue. from pain. I drew a nice picture for my friends, and then I threw the rock back into the river. Because in Thailand we believe that if you take things from the forest, that evil ghosts will haunt you forever. So I threw it back into the river, and it's still there now, if you want to go find it, if you're not scared of ghosts. Okay, one more time.
Okay.
Describe something interesting that you once found.
1 year ago, my friend. 1 year ago, my friends and I went to the forest in Nan. We found a beautiful place. There was a waterfall. As we paid water, what do you call? You said don't use pay water, but I forgot. As we,
It's not the same if you have a squirt gun or you're in the water. So we played in the river.
we played in the river. As we paid in the
Not paid. How much does it cost?
played
Oh, right. There's an L.
in the river, we saw many brightly colored rocks.
Brightly.
Brightly colored rocks. Colored rocks. We picked it up.
Not we.
I picked it up.
We don't know what it is. Probably one.
I picked a
Or one.
I picked one rock up and
Drew
on the wall
on a wall.
and drew my name on
Wrote my name.
and wrote my name on a wall. I wanted to bring it back home, but I couldn't because couldn't because in Thailand we believe if you bring something in the forest back home, you will get bad luck or a ghost will follow you to home. Follow you home. Then so I lived it there because it belonged at the river.
Not at.
It belonged in the river, and I hope other people will go because will go there because there is because beautiful because it's beautiful.
Definitely better than the first time. The first time wasn't the right answer. It's too slow though. It's a little bit sad. It's not really. It's not exciting enough. But it's not bad. I mean, it's definitely better than what other Thai people say.
A little bit sad because I try to think what I should say. Think.
Right. Right. It would be great if we could have a tape of another Thai person, in the...
Tape.
Probably they're like, yesterday I find one pen. Right. Probably It's much better than most people who go to the test, but it's still, it's not ready for the test yet. But thankfully, we have 6 months, and things will
Or
get
you
better.
should change story.
They won't ask you this question. It could be anything, but we don't change to other questions until we fix the problems first. You can't learn advanced concepts by changing the questions. But if you continue to answer the same question over and over again, then you can learn how to fix advanced problems that other people can't understand yet. And so if you see the path to English, if you see what answering a perfect question will sound like, then it's easier for you to get there. When you go to class in school, they just teach you the basic things, and then you add a little bit more, and you add a little bit more, and then after 20 years you can kind of speak. But when people came to me, they were paying money and they needed to learn quickly. So I had to teach people fast. When you go to school, the teacher has no motivation to teach you quickly. If you go to an English class in school, they don't care if you learn or not. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter how fast you learn. So there's no strategies to improve people speaking quickly. But when people go to a private class, like they did with me, they paid a lot of money to learn quickly. They could have learned on their own if they wanted to, for free. So I had to find ways to teach people quickly. And one of the ways to do that is to repeat the same thing over and over again until you can see advanced concepts that help you to get where you're going quickly. And I think it works pretty well. But we'll see. If Simpty gets a 3 on the test, then that means that I'm incorrect. Okay, one more thing. The and a, these are very difficult. Like I said, Russian people, in some languages,
True and false.
that's a different problem. But just the and a are difficult. In some languages, there is no the and there's no a. They don't understand it. In Russian, they don't have a and the. And so when they try to learn, they don't understand. They say, well, it's not in my language, so probably it's not important. In English, though, the and a are advanced things that can teach you how to talk about something that is important. It's not a translation, it's an idea. So if somebody says, look, here's the pen, that means it's an important pen. It's an important pen that you and I should remember from the past. Some people are stupid. We're going to watch a great movie maybe next week, and you can see some dumb Americans who can't figure out the. Sometimes in English, people don't know if they're stupid or if they're tired or they can't remember. If I show this to somebody who's stupid and I say, look, here's the pen, and they can't remember the pen being important, they'll say, what pen? Right? So if you used this pen to sign something very important in your life, maybe you signed your paper to make your business, okay? That's a very important pen for you, right? And then you lost it. And then after 5 years, I come to you and I say, Sipti, look, here's the pen. If you are smart and you can speak English, you'll think in your mind where the important pen could be, the most important pen. There's different levels of important pens. There could be a pen that you used to write your book, and then another pen that you used to sign your business document, and then another pen that you lost today. There's 3 levels. And that makes things very confusing. If I come to you and I say, Sipti, look, here's the pen. Then your mind should think back to the most important pen that you lost or that you found or that someone brought to you. You should imagine the most important pen. So you see, the is not a translation. You don't translate the. The is telling someone, this is very important. Think back in the past until you can remember the most important pen. And sometimes people can't. But you get better at it, right? English people are good at it because the is common in the language. But it's not easy though. If someone comes to me and say, look, John, here's the pen. Many times people in English will say, what pen? Or they might say, go get the sword. And someone will say, what sword? Right? If someone can't imagine what it is, then they can't remember or they can't think about it. But usually in English, we know if someone is going to remember something or not. And so we can guess, are they going to be able to imagine what the is? But when someone doesn't speak English perfectly, then they're not thinking the same and they don't use the correctly. So when you try to use it and you say, hey John, look, here's the elephant. Probably I'll say, what elephant? Right? But if it's something that is easy for me, or if it's something that other English people know, then it will be easy. For example, that's why I say, look, Sipti, the cameras aren't working. All right, if I call you tomorrow and I say, Sipti, you can't come today because the cameras aren't working. Your brain should go to think about cameras. Which one is the most important to me, right?
Everything.
There are many cameras. This phone has a camera. Your phone has a camera. Your mom has a camera, right? There are many cameras. But these ones are the most important ones to me. And so when someone says the cameras or the keys or the elephant, they're talking about the most important one to them. Sometimes your opinion of the most important one is not the same as someone else's, and so people get confused. But if you speak English well, then you start to imagine what other people think is important, and you can guess what someone thinks is important. Now, the is much harder than that also. For example, if you have a boat, okay, imagine you're in a boat, and the boat's going in the river, and there's a rock, right? And hits a rock. There's 3 things that you can say in English. Maybe you're the captain, right? And you say to the other people, you say, we hit rock. Okay? You write this down. We hit rock. Okay? We hit a rock. And we hit the rock. Okay? All 3 of those things have different meanings. Okay? We hit rock means the material. This is not rock. This is a rock. Rock is the material. It's what it's made out of. So it's like metal, food, grass, plastic. The cameras are plastic. They're made out of plastic, right? That's the material that it comes from. So if the captain says we hit rock, it means it's not this. It means the material. Right? He could say we hit plastic, we hit metal, we hit iron, we hit porcelain. That's the material that they hit. For some reason, he thinks that's important, right? It doesn't mean that it's a rock. It doesn't mean that it's this. It means it's the material that you're hitting.
Not real.
It is real. It's the material. He's trying to tell you that we hit rock, not metal. He thinks that the material is important. So sometimes the material is important. We hit something. The captain might say, what did we hit? Well, we hit rock. We hit ice. We hit metal. This will change what the captain does. Because if you hit cake, it's not the same as hitting rock. Okay? So when the captain says we hit rock, it means the material. When a captain says we hit a rock, that means like this. It means something that you can move, something that has a bottom and a top. And if you're strong enough, you could move it. It's not the material, it's an actual thing. We hit an elephant. We hit a house. It's an object. It's a thing that you can understand, that you can touch, and that has a top and a bottom and sides. It's not the material. It's a real thing that has a beginning and an end.
Smaller.
It doesn't have to be small. It could be huge. You could say a huge rock.
Huge.
A huge rock. But huge still has a bottom and a top. If I say we hit a huge rock, it still means that somewhere there is a bottom and somewhere there is a top. But if I say we hit rock, it means there's no top and there's no bottom. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's just the material. And then, last, we hit a rock. Sorry, we hit the rock means a very important rock, a special rock that you and I both know about. So maybe, for example, before we go in the boat, you tell me a story and you say, John, somewhere in this ocean there's an evil rock that has a ghost that sits by it, and if we get near it, we'll die. And then we hit the rock. I could say, Sipti, we hit the rock, and you'll know it's the one that we talked about in the story. Right? So, as you see,
Important because the past. We talk or we know story about that.
Right, because we talked about it, right?
In the past.
Sometimes it's simple. Sometimes it's a story that we just tell, and then it's easy. But sometimes it happened 5 years ago. Sometimes it happened 10 years ago.
If someone can't remember.
Then they say, what? What rock? Like in the movie we're going to watch, Napoleon Dynamite, you'll see some Americans are not that smart, and they can't understand what the is.
So
And if you ask them, if you say, where's the rock? They'll say, what rock, man? So that's why the is difficult, because it's not a translation. It's not a thing. It's a way to describe something that's very important. And that's very difficult. And in some languages, they don't have it.
Yes,
and they can't understand it.
In Thailand, we learn nothing. That's why it's hard.
Yes. So we'll go over the many times. It's not easy to understand. But Thai people don't have as much trouble as some languages. Russian people, Slavic languages, they don't have anything like that, and so they don't do it. They just skip it. Just like Thai people skip R and L, Instead of saying play, Thai people say pay. Well, Russian people, they don't say the. They say, give me rock.
Everything rock.
Yeah, just give me pen. Not a pen or the pen. Give me pen. But in English, give me pen means the material. And pen is not a material. So it doesn't make sense. You could say, give me cake. Give me chicken. That's okay, because that's a material. But they don't understand that. So they just say, give me chicken. Give me pen. Give me phone. You can't say that because phone is not a material. But chicken is a material. So you could say, give me chicken. And that's okay. That means the material, the meat. Right? A chicken means the whole chicken. Give me chicken means the meat. Give me a chicken means an animal. You don't care which one. Give me the chicken means a special animal that you and I both know about. Anyway, that's all for today. Any questions?
No.
Thank you so much. If you want to see the ghost following Sipti home from the river, make sure to add her on Instagram. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
ขอบคุณค่ะ